What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here back with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Medicom toy or Mafex Captain America the Winter Soldier action figure. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, this is a figure that in my opinion we should have added to our collection long ago, man. Long ago, because this is a lot of people's favorite movie from the MCU with good reason. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started diving right into that sexy packaging. Now, Mafex does stick to their guns when it comes to this package, no pun intended. As you can see, it's pretty much the same size as the standard Medicom toy box. You got the really big window where you can see the figure as well as the accessories he comes with. You've got an image of him right there in the bottom left. It says Captain America Winter Soldier. You got the Avengers logo, Winter Soldier action figure at the bottom, Mafex Medicom toy. At the top, it says Infinity Saga, nothing much at the bottom. On the side, we've got an image of him masked up, looking ready to go. Then on this side, we've got a full body image of him carrying two of his knives. And then, of course, on the back, we've got several poses we can get the figure into, as well as some of the accessories. And then nothing much at the bottom. So, again, sticking to their guns, and I'm perfectly fine with it. I do love the colors and everything, but that doesn't matter here. Let's go ahead and bust this figure out of the packaging because I'm really excited to talk about this one. Now, when I say that I'm really excited to talk about this figure, guys, I absolutely mean it, man. I don't know what it is, but Bucky Barnes has been my favorite character in the MCU ever since he first debuted, man. I really enjoy this character, and I think it's because of the actor's portrayal of the character, because to be honest, I don't really care for him all that much in the comics, but in these movies, I thought that Bucky Barnes was just so badass. And to be honest, I've been waiting of a figure of him ever since Tamashii Nations showcased their prototype of a Winter Soldier, and then they absolutely did nothing with it. But finally, Mafex was the one to get the ball rolling, and we have him here in front of us. And I gotta be honest, man, this thing looks really freaking good. Now, there is one thing I don't particularly care for, and I'll discuss that once we take a closer look at it. It's not bad per se, but it does seem to be an issue that many action figure companies that try to tackle an MCU version of this character have trouble with. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a closer look at him so we can examine some of those details. Now, taking a closer look at this figure, you guys have probably already noticed exactly what the issue is that I have with this figure, and it's the fact that the face sculpt does not look like Sebastian Stan, man. It literally looks like it's a different actor. I do believe the facial features and everything were sculpted correctly, but the 3D digital printing just has this guy looking like somebody else, man. Like, he actually looks older than Sebastian Stan looks right now. And I believe this movie came out, what, 10, 12 years ago at this point? Like, it's just, I don't know, man. Something about that facial printing just does not look right at all. Again, it looks like an entirely different actor. But other than that, I mean, the hair and everything looks nice. It's sculpted very well. As you can see, there's a ton of detail in there. Tons and tons of detail all throughout the body as well. The armor and everything looks really good. I love how they have the one sleeve and the metal arm that is painted very nicely, man. I love this metal arm. That is sick. The belt on this guy looks nice. You've got the knives and everything right here holstered onto the side. And then, of course, you've got the two pouches on the back for the other knives, the pants and everything. The combat pants are sculpted very well. Tons and tons of wrinkles sculpted into them. All kinds of stuff going on here. You got the knee pads, the combat boots. This guy is ready to go, and that's what I like about the character, man. I love some badass assassin characters, man, and I think that's kind of why I like John Wick, and at the same time, I also like Denzel Washington from The Equalizer. I would love a figure of him from that movie, but I doubt that's gonna happen. But either way, man, this figure looks good, man. Medicom toy usually doesn't miss when it comes to their MCU figures. Most of them have turned out great, and so far this guy's looking to be about the same, other than this head sculpt, which I'll probably keep him masked up most of the time anyway. But yeah, very good looking figure. Now anyway, let's go ahead and put him back so we can see how tall he stands. When it comes to the height on this guy, I don't know if Mafex upscaled their figures a bit, but this one feels a bit taller than the average Medicom figure. But to the top of his head, as you can see, he stands right at about 6.5, which I think that's probably accurate. And I meant to say 6.5 inches. I forgot to add that part. But I don't know. We'll do some size comparisons a little bit later. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't have any of my MCU figures anymore. So size comparisons are going to be a bit weird. But if you collect multiple lines like I do, it'll really give you an idea of just how this guy scales with other action figures. Moving on to the articulation, you're not really going to get much out of the head looking up just because of the hairpiece. And I'm sure if you collect enough action figures, by now that's to be expected. He does look down about that much, which still isn't the most. So you're going to have to use that diaphragm joint if you want him to get to look down anymore. Not really much tilt or turn either. Again, that's just because of the hair. And I mean, they really couldn't do anything about that because this is the length of his hair in the movie. It's pretty accurate, so not much you can do, but you can get it to kind of tilt and look different directions. Anyway, when it comes to the arms, they go up and out about that much, so T-poses aren't going to be a problem. Let's see. Kind of has butterfly joints, not the most effective though. I do wish that they could come out a little bit more than that, because I mean, if you want to get him posed up holding guns, you can do it. And speaking of guns, I wonder if he comes with accessories for holding them. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. You can get him posed up with them, but it would be so much easier if you could get his arms to cross by coming out. So yeah, the butterfly joint's definitely not the most effective. He does have a bicep swivel on both arms, double jointed elbows on both arms. It feels a little bit more stiff on this metal arm, so be careful with that. Hands are on the typical Medicom toy hinge. Little bit of hindrance right here at the sleeve, and it's going to be the same with this one as well. Now at the diaphragm joint, he bends forward about that much, bends back very, very well. A little bit of gapping in there, not extremely noticeable, so that's really good. At the waist, that only helps him to turn even more. But yeah, diaphragm joint works very well. Waist joint works very well. Ooh, a little stiff. Y'all heard that. Ooh, man. I don't know. I might have to take this apart and oil that. I'm not going to move that around anymore. But yeah, it does work well. He kicks forward so much more than I thought he was going to, actually. So he can give somebody the boot if you want him to. The legs do drop down, so that's cool. He can do the splits about that much, which isn't bad. Thigh swivel is built in. Double jointed knees, not the most effective, but they do work. No swivel right here at the boot like I wish he had. Foot goes down about that much, up about that much. Decent ankle rocker, not bad, not the best, but not the worst. And then he does have a toe hinge as well. So articulation wise, it's pretty much what you would expect from a Medicom toy figure. A few limitations here and there, but not too much that you're not going to be able to do with this figure. So that's cool. Moving on to the accessories, this is where I know a lot of you guys are going to be disappointed, but if you've been collecting these figures for a while, it's not going to come as a surprise to you. Now, first off, he does come with his neutral expression and a pair of fist hands right out of the packaging. He does come with two other head sculpts, one where he's got the mask on, but he's not wearing the goggles, and then one where he's got the mask on and he is wearing the goggles. Both of these looking really, really good, man. I dig these a whole lot, and I think, honestly, this one right here is probably my favorite because the eyes actually don't look bad when he's got the mask on, so it leads me to believe that maybe it's the lower part of this head sculpt that looks a tad bit off. And when it comes to hands, he comes with quite a few. He comes with a pair of like wide open hands. He comes with a pair of almost clawing type hands. He comes with a pair of not trigger hands. These are actually for holding his weapons. As you can see, the thumb does connect to the index finger. He comes with a pair of relaxed hands. He comes with another pair of what looks like fist hands, but they have a hole in between them. These are for also holding on to some of his weapons I'm going to show. Then he comes with a pair of hands for holding on to Captain America's shield. And yes, he actually comes with a pair of trigger hands. So that leads us to believe Mafex or Medicom Toy knows we plan on putting guns in the hands of this figure. So for whatever reason, with Disney's ban on guns or Marvel's ban on guns. I don't know. We watched this character kill people, but whatever. Anyway, he comes with 3 knives. He comes with this little tiny one right here. And then he does come with 2 of the bigger ones. These are the ones that holster into the back of his pouch. And then here is Captain America's shield. As you can see, it's pretty dirty, just like it was in the movie. And this looks amazing, man. I really dig this a whole lot. I feel like this dirty look fits the character of Winter Soldier to hold, and it's a perfect replica of him when he had the shield in the movie. And then on the back, as you can see, one of the straps is missing, and that's because there is 2 ways to attach one. He comes with this bigger attachment piece, and then he comes with this smaller attachment piece. Obviously, this is for when he isn't grabbing it by the strap. This is for when he is using the strap. So yeah, plenty of accessories, but sadly, no guns. And now for anyone who wants to confirm whether or not he can actually hold weapons, here you guys go. Here he is holding 2 Hasbro weapons. One of them is the SMG from the Fortnite. I don't know, it's from one of the Fortnite figures. And then of course, we also have him holding an AR. I don't know what this is from. I don't think this was Hasbro. I think I just got this in an accessory kit somewhere. But yeah, as you can see, he holds the weapons just fine. Moving on to size comparisons, I told you they were going to be a little bit weird, but again, I don't have any Avengers figures. So here he is standing next to the SH Figure Arts new red and blue Spider-Man figure. We also have him standing next to the Medicom toy or Mafex, the Batman figure, and I would love to see these 2 throw hands. If you're watching up to this point, tell me who you think would win between the Winter Soldier and the Batman. You guys already know who I'm going to go with. And then we also have him standing next to the SH Figure Arts Kamen Rider Geet. Now bringing out some Legends that I had locked away. Here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Amazing Spider-Man. As you can see, this is the version with the Andrew Garfield head that actually looks really nice on camera. We also have him standing next to a Marvel Legends MCU Moon Knight, who I'm wondering if we're going to see again. And then last but not least, we have him standing next to a Marvel Legends Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man. Last but not least, if you're into Marvel vs. Capcom, here he is standing next to an SH Figure Arts Chun-Li. I tried to find my Jada toys, but I think they scale roughly around the same size. Here he is also standing next to an SH Figure Arts Suicide Squad Deadshot and an SH Figure Arts Jujutsu Kaisen Greatness Toge Inumaki, which I just reviewed. Go check that out if you haven't already. So all in all, when it comes to my final thoughts on this guy, it's another figure that fits Medicom Toys' consistency, especially when it comes to the MCU figures, which in my opinion, they really don't miss with. I don't think I've gotten a bad Medicom toy MCU figure, or at least I can't think of one at the time. Honestly, I'm at the point with them though, I do wish that they would speed these up, because again, this movie came out like 12 years ago, probably even more than that, and I'm like, man, there's so many other characters you guys still haven't gotten to, and for the most part, Tamashii Nations has knocked them all out. I mean, we've still got the Guardians of the Galaxy, which I would absolutely love to see them tackle. It would really be dope to see them do a Thanos. I would love to see them do Kang the Conqueror. I don't even think they've done an Ant-Man figure. I feel like a Medicom toy MCU Ant-Man, or even a comic book Ant-Man would be dope. Like, that is my biggest issue with Medicom Toy. Now, granted, they're not as big of a company as SHF or, in my opinion, even Figma, but it's certain releases that I do wish they would kind of push to the side, because ever so often they have those figures that it's like, yo, who really asked for this? Like the Birds of Prey Harley Quinn, especially the one with the jacket. But at the same time, all of that stuff might be in their contract, so I can't hold that against them too much. But overall, when it comes to this figure, man, it's solid. If you want to get your hands on a 1/12 scale Winter Soldier, this is the way to go, man. Now, I do know that there's a third-party company making one of these that should be coming out pretty soon, but if you're someone who you like to have the official products, then it doesn't really get any better than this. And I showed you guys, even though he doesn't come with guns, you can still get him to hold guns. And so that leads me to my 2 issues with this figure. And number 1 being the fact that he not necessarily doesn't come with guns, but the fact that the biceps, or not biceps, the butterfly joints don't work well enough for you to get him in those aiming down sight poses. I tried it out. I wanted to show you guys when I showed him holding weapons, but it just absolutely doesn't work. So you can't get him in those like scoping type poses or, again, aiming down sight. And then my only other issue is the neutral head sculpt. It's just something about the face looks off, and that's not a major issue. It's just something I wanted to point out for the people that are completely adamant about accuracy and they want everything to look perfect. It's not a perfect world. No action figure's perfect, so it's just bygones be bygones, and we're done with it. But overall, I do recommend this release. I think he sold out everywhere, so if you can find this guy for somewhere close to retail, make sure you get it, because this is one that I know is highly sought after, and once it sells out, it is going to sell out. I'm telling you guys right now. But anyway, hope that you guys enjoyed this review. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content. And last but not least, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe wherever you are, and bye.